Hello, my name is Andre. The title of my project is Teenage Students, Opinions, and Stereotypes about a Gay Black Teen. Today, I will explain some of my results that I got from my project. First, I'm going to talk about stereotypes and their consequences. Stereotypes are placed on someone else when another person is unfamiliar with you. Stereotypes could be negative judgment and can cause unfair and unequal treatment. This study will measure stereotypical beliefs and acceptances of a hypothetical black teen by teenage students. Next, I will talk about where the stereotype of femininity comes from. Homosexual males and heterosexual females are grouped into the same category because of sexual orientation. I will be talking about the differences between sexual orientation and gender expression. Sexual orientation often refers to the gender a person is attracted to, while gender expression is how an individual presents themselves. Stereotypes work because when a person is unfamiliar with another person, they group them into different groups. However, the human brain influences the differences between groups and make people and groups seem more similar. When it comes to sexual orientation, homosexual men are grouped into the same category as heterosexual females because they both like the same gender. Because humans group them together due to sexual orientation, people seeing gay men as feminine is really a false belief people have when they overlap a person's sexual orientation with their gender expression. This creates the false idea that gay men are always feminine. The papers I have read from our project fall into two categories: stereotypes and acceptances. The first I will be explaining are two research papers about femininity stereotypes. The researchers Blashill and Powlishta had 110 undergrad students, both male and female, look at one of four different fake profiles of gay and straight males and females, and asked about their perceptions of the profiles. They found that males, regardless of orientation, were seen as more masculine and females as feminine. But then they looked more into each gender. They found that gay males come off as more feminine than straight, and gay women as more masculine than straight women. The second part of my paper talks about acceptance. First, I'll be explaining what Espelage and Poet did and how it relates to my project. The researchers wanted to see if straight students would be willing to remain friends and go to school with someone who is gay. A survey of over 20,000 students in 2005, ranging from middle school to high school students, were gathered to participate in the experiment. The researchers found that younger students and boys were less willing to go to school with gay peers and less willing to remain friends with a peer who came out to them. Additionally, more racially diverse schools were more accepting, suggesting being exposed to different people can make them more open. Other researchers like Horn, Swassel, and Dill also researched the effect of race and religion in accepting gay people. The researchers gave out a survey to ninth through 12th graders with depictions of hypothetical students, some of whom were gay. They also found the younger you are, the more likely you are to judge negatively. Black students were seen as less accepting compared to the white counterparts. Finally, Catholics who were more accepting and Baptists who were less. My first hypothesis wanted to test if the fictional teen would be seen as feminine versus a straight profile. The second hypothesis wanted to see if younger students and males would be less accepting. Lastly, we expect that people's religion might affect their acceptance. Participants came from a private school in PA, and there were a total of 64 participants. The first thing I had to do in order to make the fake profile of the team, which I call Jordan Felix, in order to pick the most neutral activities for Jordan to avoid bias, I had gathered some people around the school who weren't doing anything to fill out a survey. The survey asked about different sports, hobbies, and volunteer activities, and I had them rate activities based on their masculinity. I selected the most neutral activities after that. I wrote the fictional team profile to give out to other students during class time. After reading, students answered questions on the back and rated Jordan on a number of adjectives to describe him. Three of these adjectives, sensitive, caring, and affectionate, were used to measure femininity. After I got the surveys, I removed participants who were not straight or bisexual in order to see how they stereotyped Jordan. This is the fake profile of Jordan. There were two different profiles. Participants either received Jordan who had a boyfriend or Jordan who had a girlfriend. This is a graph of how participants rated Jordan's femininity. Based on the profile they got, femininity scores came from the adjectives used to describe the fictional teen. As a result, the homosexual profile was seen as more feminine. The asterisk means there is a statistical significant difference in the groups. This means the difference is big enough that participants saw the homosexual profile as actually more feminine. This graph shows interest in friendship across all three grade levels and all three types of friendship. I asked about three types of friendship. When it comes to being a school friend, 10th graders showed the most interest, but no significant difference. For outside friends, there was no significant difference in interest. Lastly, kids seem interested in being a school partner no matter the grade. Overall, grade level did not seem to matter. This is a graph of friendship across male and female. Males were less interested in being his friend than females for all three types of friendship. Even though males were less interested, the interest was still there because the scores for school friend and partner were above the halfway mark. So males might be a little open or at least indifferent. Last, this is a graph of acceptance by religiousness for all three types of friendship. There was no significant difference in interest between non-religious and religious participants, but religious people were slightly more interested in being the gay fictional teen's friend. In summary, participants found the gay teen as more feminine, so my first hypothesis was supported. Next, I found across all three grade levels there was no significant difference in acceptance, therefore my hypothesis was not supported. I found that males were less accepting, so my third hypothesis was also supported. Religious people seem slightly more accepting, but my hypothesis was not supported because there were no significant differences. In comparison with other studies, I agree with other researchers. Males are still less accepting, and the feminine stereotype still exists. Constant with other research, males were less accepting, but not overly negative. This might suggest times have changed because in today's society, being gay and open might be more common and acceptable. A survey by Gallup revealed that 1 in 5 adults identify in the LGBTQ plus community, double that of 2012. This shows how society has changed quickly, and even though gay men are still seen as feminine and straight males are less accepting, being gay is more common and others are possibly more tolerant than ever. This study had two big limitations. My results only applied to our school because the small group and the unique characteristics of TNA. Also, some participants who took the survey thought the fictional teen was boring. A few students described him as boring or dry when handing in the survey. This could affect how students rate him, maybe explaining why they were less interested in being his outside friend. In conclusion, males were less accepting and age and religion did not matter. The gay feminine stereotype still exists. Homophobia is still a problem, but according to our research, the future is looking better. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your questions.